So recently we had a client that came to us that wanted to do a Viking River cruise, and she wanted to add a few extra nights in Paris before the sailing. So certainly Viking offers a Paris extension. It's convenient, it's packaged, it's actually hitting an easy button. But when Shelley and I were looking at exactly what she wanted to see for her pre-cruise extension in Paris, she had a very long, defined list of things that she had kind of built up over the last, how many decades? Many decades that
Yes,
she had
3
been
or
planning
4.
to go to Paris. So what we did with that is that we decided to build something a little bit independent. Not that Viking had a poorly designed extension that was
Not at
available
all.
to them. It just wasn't as extensive as what this client was looking for. So in this case, Shelley was able to build her an absolutely custom 4-night extension in Paris with better hotels, some more flexibility, pre-scheduled tours, some education of all the logistics that she was going to need to be able to navigate that entire trip, and some private transfers to and from the ship. But that's not always the answer.
No.
Sometimes it is,
Sometimes
sometimes
it's
it's
not.
not. So today we're going to talk about how that kind of works out and how to decide. Hi there, we're William and Shelley with River Cruise Experts. We're here to help you find the best experience of a river cruise so that you can have an exceptional experience with your trip investment. So most of the time, we recommend the River Cruise Line extension. They offer a pre-packaged opportunity. Not all of the 12 different river cruise lines that we work with offer this, but many of them do. They do an exceptional job. Some of them do a little bit better job than others. They provide seamless logistics that makes it very much like hitting the easy button. And the peace of mind of knowing everything that exists is absolutely what you're going to be looking for.
But sometimes, specifically Viking and a few smaller lines, we can do better than what the cruise line can do. So that's where I come in. Today, we're going to talk about both sides. Is the cruise line what they've configured the best for you, or can we do a better job finding you a better hotel with a little bit more flexibility involved?
So today we're going to talk about both sides. When is the cruise line going to be the right choice for you simply because you are wanting to have the easy button pressed, or when does the independent option make the most sense? And since Shelley's the one that builds these out, we're going to bring her in to kind of talk through these different options we have available. So what are land extensions?
Land extensions can be pretty much what you want it to be. It can be one day before your cruise starts, which we highly recommend, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. All the way, I mean, you can add a week to 2 weeks after your cruise or before your cruise if you really want to and if you have the time. Multiple cities, it doesn't have to be just where your cruise starts or ends. We can, package this all together and make it really the European vacation or exotic destination of your choice. So a lot of times people will add on a couple days at the beginning and a couple days at the end to get a good feel for both. So that's the most popular.
So we're going to include the hotels. We can help them with transfers, although we've got some suggestions on why you might not want to go with the transfer route. We can also provide you with some of the city tours or maybe even some more specialized tours. Sometimes we can even put together meals, however you would like it to be built. What we don't include typically is a flight. We don't typically build that into the full conversation. We do have that as an extensive option that we can do outside of that. And we can talk about the air program that we have. We also have a video that you can find on our channel that talks about some of the air options. It is specifically about Viking, but it kind of applies to all of the different cruise lines.
When do we recommend the cruise line extensions over building them on your own? So that's a great question. And there's a lot of questions to be asked about that and how we come to the decision what is best for you as a traveler.
Right.
So most of the time, it is your recommendations on what you're wanting to see when you arrive at your destination, how long you need to be gone. The list can go on and on and on, right? But as mentioned before, the one thing that we highly recommend that we almost never let someone fly in the day of the cruise unless it cannot be helped is because when you arrive the day early, you are getting acclimated to that jet lag, the time zone difference.
Right.
You're going to start that vacation that you've worked really hard and have planned for a very long time. You're going to start the vacation refreshed. So that just makes it all worthwhile. You do not want to get off the plane, run through customs, and try to hurry up to get to your ship so that you can crash and take a nap when you're going to miss the first full day of your
By 3 o'clock.
of your river cruise. So coming in that day early really does help you get that refreshed look on what's going to happen.
Especially when you're a first-time international traveler. A lot of
Absolutely.
the people that we work with have never been overseas and they just have some first-time jitters. That's kind of normal. It's like they're going out on a first date. You're dating the international scene for the very first time, and having something that's all pre-planned. If everything's just laid out and very simplified for you, it just makes it more comfortable. Everything's completely arranged.
If we're going to talk about exotic destinations, super important. I personally would not want to arrive in Vietnam on the day that my river cruise starts, trying to navigate
Absolutely
that
not.
city for the Mekong, or even Colombia. When we go in September, we're doing the pre-stay
The Magdalena River in Colombia.
just to be able to get acclimated. That's somewhere we have not been. So we want to be able to soak it in. We want to be able to enjoy our time there and be able to get the full experience. And
We're hitting the easy button.
we are hitting the easy button. We're doing it all with Amma. We'll have lots of videos on it so that you can follow along with us and see how that all goes. But we are super excited about that.
We're visiting Medellin, and one of the things they did is built in some logistics. So Medellin is a long ways away from where we're going to be starting the river cruise in Cartagena, and they've already arranged the flights. They've taken care of our hotels. They've taken care of the transfers, some of our meals, the tours around Medellin. It's not some place that I would want to go and explore on my own because most of it is safe, but some of it's not yet safe. So we just prefer to have somebody who's a local expert. Hint, the local expert is going to be there to guide us along the way and help make everything a little bit more seamless for us.
The other thing to remember are strong hotel partnerships. So these river cruise companies have spent years and years and years building that relationship and that partnership with those hotels where they put their clients at, correct? So the big thing to remember in Europe specifically is location is key. You do not want to be on the outside of the city and having to take trains into the city to see the sights or catching an Uber, etc. These cruise lines have worked through that tremendously and made it a great deal. We have hotels in certain cities. If someone does not want to go through with the cruise lines for your post, we have specific hotels in each city that we recommend that are in those great locations. So that's also something to keep in mind.
So when we have these prepackaged pieces that are available with most of the cruise lines, about half of them, but not all of them certainly, the biggest brands definitely have the prepackaged
The
pieces
brands that
put
you've
together.
mostly heard of.
Yes. And if you've watched some of our other videos, you're going to know what those brands are. But when is a good time to go independent and how does that look?
When the value doesn't equal the math. So if you are a value traveler, which we love value travelers, we all are in some sense of the word, right? So value has to play an important part of that, but also value versus ease, right? So sometimes it's worth that extra $100 a night in a hotel just to be at a spot where you don't have to catch that Uber, because by the time you Uber in for dinner and Uber back, etc., you're making up for that cost difference, correct?
Right.
So value is super, super important for that. Specifically with Viking, you pay a premium price for a same hotel that I could book separately for you, and it would end up saving you money. So there's some value add there in the fact of, you're not paying the premium price that Viking's charging for the same room that we can book independently.
Now, one of the things that Viking's offering with their stay, sometimes they are offering a tour on your full days in between your overnight. So if you've got a 3 night stay, that means you've got 2 full days.
Mhm.
Sometimes they are going to offer tours, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's just going to be a hotel stay with breakfast, the transfers, and what they call a Viking host that's in the lobby to help them with any kind of generalized questions about what to go and see out on their own.
Correct.
So it's not going to be a guided tour. If you go with some of the other brands that are more the premium nature, they're going to fully include all of those tours every single day as a part of the experience. So it's something you definitely want to visit with us about. But kind of like the example of the guest that we had earlier that was talking to us, she had some very specific things that she wanted to see in Paris. And there was just no way that that was going to happen, even with, a phenomenal talc experience wasn't going to hit everything that she was looking for. So we kind of helped dial that through. And what were
We
some of the things that she saw while she was there?
Well, she wanted to see some specific libraries that she had studied so that she could get a Parisian library card, just different things like that. She did have some friends in town that she had went to college with that now lived in Paris, and she wanted to meet up with them. So there were just a few aspects that we helped build that around. She had never been to Paris before. So it was a absolute pleasure working with that and building from there. Flexibility is key for that. So if there are certain things that you are absolutely wanting to do, and we can help you find that tour that's going to fit what you've been looking for.
And we're just talking about one single example of throughout Europe or even around the world. So we've kind of talked about Paris for a moment. We've had guests that wanted to go to Mont Saint Michel. We've had some people that wanted to go and visit the Loire Valley. We had some people that wanted to run over and visit Bruges, to
Hmm.
go over to the cemetery there of the American soldiers. There's a tremendous amount of things to see just inside of a train ride away from Paris. But the same thing could happen in Munich. Prague is not exactly on the river. We get a lot of people that ask us about Prague. We want to make sure that we sail by Prague. It's not
That's not
there.
going to happen, but you
But
sure can do it for your post.
yes. So you'll find a lot of the river cruise lines that will offer a pre or a post cruise extension in Prague, but that's because they've taken you on a 4 hour coach ride up
Hmm.
and over to go see Prague. Another really popular one that I work with quite a bit are people that are doing the Rhine River cruise, and they get off, or they start in Basel or end in Basel. But from that juncture, they are going to go and visit the Italian lakes. So each of the different brands is going to have a different place that they're going to. Places like Lake Como is very popular for onboard waterways. Some of the other Italian lakes is where Viking is going to take you over to visit their stunning lakes, absolutely beautiful. Some of them are just more known than others, and some of them are actually going to stay inside of Switzerland and go to Lake Lucerne before taking you over to Zurich to explore Zurich before flying home. So there's a multitude of opportunities, but sometimes people just have some very specific things that they want to do and do it independently. Who should and who should not?
To be perfectly honest, both. The right traveler to do an independent is someone who is comfortable with airports, comfortable with hotels. They're going to be comfortable getting to the ship on their own. They like to explore on their own. They like that freedom. Maybe they have a restaurant in mind that they've dreamed of to sit and have, coffee or dinner that evening. Someone that just doesn't necessarily need a little bit of hand holding. So that cruise line that has put together that pre and post, it really is a no brainer. So maybe you're going to Europe for the very first time. You do not want to think about anything. You want everything taken care of for you. You're going to want to do the pre and post with the cruise line, period. You won't have to second guess if you're staying at the right hotel. You won't have to second guess if, did I get breakfast with this room or did I not? I mean, there's none of that second guessing on anything. So if you're even the slightest bit anxious about going for the first time, do that pre and post, or the pre or the post with the cruise line, and make sure that you feel 110% comfortable. Maybe next time you choose to do it independently, and that's perfectly great. We'll be there to help you with that also.
Another really important thing to keep in mind and to get some consideration to is you have to be open to conversations and change. So I once in a while will have a client who's visiting with me about putting all of their logistics together. They've been planning this trip in their mind for years and years and years, and we're now 9 months away from sailing, and they're just ready to get every single detail lined up, and they need to know what that looks like. But they wanted to do it independently. Fully understand that. Here's some of the things that you need to keep in mind that could change. So the river cruises have an expectation of where they are going to get to park, what dock and what pier they're going to get to park at, but that doesn't always happen. So river water levels can change that, logistical levels can change that, but also the Port Authority has the final say in exactly where they park as soon as 24 hours prior to your departure. So you might have a specific location that's written down on your final documents that the cruise line has provided to you, but they're still open to be able to change. That is something that you have to have the flexibility for. If you've booked it and had your pre-cruise extension with the cruise line, that bus driver already knows exactly where to take you for the new spot. But if you are doing something independently, you have to be listening to any potential changes. You have to watch your email on a regular basis to know, oh, 24 hours before, that cruise port got changed. I had a client that was over there. They were doing their own Paris extension. They jumped on a train, went down to Basel, Switzerland to catch a trip going north on the Rhine River, and their port changed. And I sent him a message. He didn't reply to me. I got extremely anxious and nervous about it. But a week later, he did follow up with me, let me know that they got all the information. They had a wonderful trip and all went well. So that's just some of the things you really need to take into consideration.
We've talked a little bit about the rule that we always follow and we want our guests to follow, which is arrive the day before. No questions asked. It's really a non-negotiable due to flight delays, lost luggage, canceled flights, jet lag. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, right?
A lot
So
of
if
people
you,
don't want to because it's going to cost more. It's going to be a $250 hotel, and we fully get that. We fully understand that schedules are compressed.
Mhm.
You got a $250 fee for a hotel, and maybe you didn't want to put that into the arrangement. But when you're spending $10,000 plus on a river cruise, $250 and coming in a day early just makes really good sense that you're fresh.
That's probably the most important tidbit to take from this video is it really is a non-negotiable. So the answer going back to the very beginning is, do I do a pre or post with a cruise line or do I do it independently? The answer really is it depends. It depends on you as a traveler. It depends on the cruise line. Lots of other factors in there, but most of the time the cruise line extension is the right choice for you. Not always, but sometimes. And when it's not, I'm here to help you navigate that and make the experience the best that it can be, and make it as seamless as possible.
And that's really what working with a travel advisor that specializes in river cruising can really help you with. And that's what we're here to help you with as river cruise specialists. We have spent our travel agency career now on specifically river cruises, just so that we can really increase our knowledge and understand all the different brands, what they offer, what their differences are, how to best prepare a client for that experience. And working with an advisor that's going to be able to give you that detail is going to be the best investment for yourself. It doesn't cost you any more to work with a travel advisor. So we're here to work on your benefit. We are going to get paid a commission from the River Cruise Line. So there's no fee to you. You might as well take advantage of it because you're going to pay for it anyway.
If you'd like to reach out to us, there is a link in the description. There's also a QR code up on the screen that we would be happy if you scan that QR code. It will let you schedule a call with us. We'd also love for you to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel out. We are happy to put out more videos, but having those likes and subscribes helps us do that.
If you have any questions, feel free to put a comment down below.
We'd love to read them
with you, and we will reply to each one of them. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Hi there. I was just editing this video, and before you run off, I wanted to share a real quick clip from our partners at Globus Travel that also have Avalon Waterways. They have an exceptional and very cute independent versus tour. And while it's not directly related to a pre or post cruise, it definitely fits into the conversation so that you get an idea of what an independent versus a package deal might look like. It is definitely a commercial, but one that I thought had some great value and just wanted to throw in that clip. So enjoy. It's a couple of minutes long. We'll talk to you soon.
This is the story of two couples vacationing in the same place at the same time.
No. I think it's this way.
Sure?
Yeah, yes.
Alessandra?
Yes. Hi. You have a good trip?
One chose a
Great.
Globus tour.
Come with me to the gut.
The other went on their
Are you a
own.
taxi? I want to rent the car.
Go it alone,
I don't have the app. I don't know what app
What's
you
the name of the app?
and you're on your own.
Our ride is just around the corner.
Are we close?
It's like 4 more blocks.
Go with Globus,
You are already checked in?
and we'll make everything easy.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Alessandro says, have to try the
No
muscles.
one's answering. Try pushing the buttons.
Hello? We're here. Hello?
Tour with us, and the world opens up effortlessly.
If you follow me, I will take you inside.
It keeps moving. I think we need to keep moving in order for it.
Because there's a big difference between figuring it out and having it all figured
So
out.
guys, when you travel with us, you skip the line.
Where are they going?
They're going in.
On a Globus tour, you see more. You do more. You learn more.
Name is Lucella, guys. We are here. He is doing perfecto. Flip it now. Flip it again.
It says to look for a guy in a blue hat.
Blue hat. There are like 10 guys with blue hats.
On a Globus tour, you simply enjoy. With less stress, less worry,
Try over here.
less hassles,
Hello.
and more stories.
So a lot of people miss these when they come here, but these are the wine windows.
Wonder what that is.
Alessandro, since we have the rest of the afternoon free, do you have any suggestions?
Well, you know what, guys? There's actually a really nice farmer's market. It's around the corner, good for lunch. I can show you if you want.
Let's go.
Honey, I don't know where to go.
Can't we find a real person?
Next time, don't just go.
You want me to buy you something? I could maybe.
Go beyond. Tour with Globus.